Hello, everyone, and welcome to Championship Saturday in the Interact League on the Sports Fan Base Network. I'm Matt Fine, taking you along through the 7-inning title game between the top-seeded Malvern Prep Friars and the 2-seed from Penn Charter. And there is no surprise at all with the two teams playing in this title game. These two teams have been the best of the bunch all season long in the Interact. Malvern Prep getting here after Thursday's semifinal win over Springside Chestnut Hill Academy, a mercy rule game that ended in 5. The final there 11-1. Penn Charter won its semifinal game also on Thursday over Episcopal Academy. The final there 2-0. What makes this game so interesting on Championship Saturday is that there is no state tournament this year. This league playoff series is the only postseason for the Interact. So today's game will mark the end of the 2021 season and the end for all the seniors in uniform today. So you will likely see a good deal of emotion, possibly some tears when it is all said and done. And there's plenty of talent on both squads. The two starters, which we'll talk about a lot today, two lefties, both D1 arms, and they'll be going head-to-head today in the final game here at Malvern Prep. These two teams have played twice this year. The first time they played on Tuesday, April 13th, where Malvern Prep got the better of the visitors here at home over Penn Charter. The final there, 12-0. Fran O'Shell pitching a complete game, 5 innings, 3 hits, gave up no runs. The more interesting game was the next one, the second game, which was at Penn Charter. The final there, Penn Charter winning that one 9-6. And the two pitchers that day in that game are the two pitchers that we will see here today, and we'll talk a lot about them as we move through the game. So as we start to get the players on the field, the umpires are talking to the two head coaches. Both teams have given up their lineup cards. We'll take you through the offense and defense. First, offensively, for the visitors for Penn Charter, we have number 8, Jake Ciani, batting .268. He'll be playing left field. Vincent Fattori, a Duke product, batting slightly above .300. He'll be playing center field, batting second. James Dorn at .353, playing second base, batting third. Sebastian Tilley, a senior, playing first base. Dean Bergman, a senior who generally catches for this team, but you hurt his hand slightly recently, so he won't be catching. Instead, he'll be playing DH at .289. Bergman heading to St. Joe's next year on the college level. Then there's the other Dorn, the younger Dorn, Scott, batting .308, batting in the 6th spot. He'll be playing third base. Danny Will on the mound today, who also hits .370 on the year. He's a Dartmouth product. The lefty would be batting in the 7th spot and again on the hill. In the 8th spot, Josh Felter, the senior. And in the 9th spot, Sean Flynn at a .250 clip, a sophomore, will be catching today. Defensively for Malvern Prep, in the infield, left to right, Trey Tiffin at third, Cam Conley, the Pepperdine product, or the Pepperdine commit, I should say, at short. We got Ryan Cochran at second, Jimmy Kirk at first. In the outfield from left to right, Josh Smith, Lonnie White. We'll talk about Lonnie a ton today in center field. Ryan Davis in right field. Behind the plate, Billy Breslin, where he normally sits, the starter, number 22, and he'll be catching for number 18, Connor Street. Street, the lefty. He's a senior. He's heading to High Point next year to play college ball. And he is quite the thrower. We'll talk about him as well. Look at some stats from him as we move through the day. First pitch in, and we are underway with a called strike to Jake Ciani. Ciani falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Street on the year, 28 2/3 innings. This is his 10th game. He is 4-1 on the year. He's got a 4.15 ERA. Bouncer to the right side, soft, and bobbled right off the bat by Cochran. Looked like Cochran looked up a little bit too soon. Was unable to handle that ball. It was a slow roller for a speedy leadoff runner in Ciani. So Jake reaches, and one batter room. We got an E4 and a base runner for the Quakers. And this brings up Vincent Fattori, the Duke product, batting, as mentioned, at .304 on the year, playing center field for Coach Justin Hanley today. Siani with a decent lead over at first base. First pitch in for a strike. With two lefties on the mound, especially two lefties that are heading to D1 programs, you know their move is pretty strong over to first base. And with the lefties, it always makes it much tougher for those base runners. The second time these two teams met, when Penn Charter won on April 30th. Connor Street struggled a little bit in that game, today's starter, got the loss. 3 innings pitched, gave up 7 runs, just 3 earned though. K'd 4, walked 4, so hopefully he'll be looking at a better defensive lineup today in the championship game. That fastball just misses. Count goes even, 1 ball, 1 strike. We'll talk about Danny Will, the starter for Penn Charter, when they come out in the bottom of the first, but Will pitched in that game as well. The lefty got the win. Again, that game late April. Lots happened since then, though. The first time these two teams met was April 13th. Fran O'Shell picked up the win, a 3-hit shutout, 12-0 for Malvern Prep. Ryan Davis with 3 hits. O'Shell had 2 hits as well, with a home run, by the way, and 5 RBIs. That was a 5-inning mercy rule. Next pitch comes in, big swing and a miss. One of the interesting things about that game was that Penn Charter was on a COVID pause for 18 straight days. Their first game back was that game on the 13th against Prep. And Coach Hanley basically telling me that they weren't ready to play. You can imagine after 18 straight days. And a pickoff play and a pickle down the second and out at second. So there is the move from Street. And Siani knocked off at second base. We go 1-3-6 on the putout. So the error by the second baseman, Cochran, does not hurt. We got 1 away and a 1-ball, 2-strike count to the 2-hitter in Fattori. Pitch up a little bit, count goes even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're playing 7 innings here today in the championship day. Good fight by number 9 there as that pitch is fouled away. Count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Beautiful day for baseball here in Malvern, Pennsylvania, eastern Pennsylvania. Wind's blowing in a little bit, maybe right to left, right towards me. I'm along the third base side. That one's popped up and foul. And lots of fans here, lots of parents. It's going to be an emotional day. Lots of seniors on both teams. 15 seniors on the team for Malvern Prep. Coach Hilliard says it's his biggest senior class that he has ever had, as that ball is skied to the track in left field, pushing Smith back, but he makes the catch right up against the track for out number 2. So a long fly ball for Fattori. And this brings up James Doran. So 15 seniors, as I mentioned, for Malvern Prep, the largest senior class in Fred Hilliard's time at Prep. 9 seniors for Coach Justin Hanley's team at Penn Charter. First pitch misses just a bit high to Doran. Doran came into this game leading the team in hits. He's got 18 on the year. Mainly a singles guy. 16 of his 18 hits have been for singles. He's got 2 triples as well. Then he gets ahead of the count. 2 balls, no strikes. Doran gets on. We'll see Sebastian Tilley. Street will throw in the mid to high 80s. got some good off speed as well as he falls behind here. Count now 3 balls, no strikes to the 3-hitter. Comes the 3-0 in the dirt. 4 pitches, 4 balls, and a 2-out base runner for the Quakers. Here comes the cleanup guy. This is number 5, Dean Bergman, batting in the 4 spot. I think I originally had him in the 5 spot. Bergman's the St. Joe's product, batting .289 on the year. Bouncer to the left side, scooped up, and the force play. Conley to Cochran. And down goes Penn Charter in the top of the first. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Moving to the bottom of the first, no score. Welcome back to Malvern Prep. Championship day in the Interac here for baseball. Move to the bottom of the first offensively for Fred Hilliard's squad. Number 1, Josh Smith, the senior, followed by Lonnie White batting in the 2 spot. Cam Conley from Pepperdine, heading to Pepperdine next year. At number 3, Jimmy Kirk in the 4 spot, followed by Trey Tiffin, the sophomore. Ryan Cochran, the Lehigh commit, in the 6 spot. Fran O'Shell will be DHing. He got the win on the mound a couple of days ago. Ryan Davis, followed by Billy Breslin in the 9 spot. Defensively, for Coach Hanley and Penn Charter, Scott Dorn, Tim Ford, James Dorn, and Sebastian Tilley left to right in the infield. In the outfield, left to right, will go Jake Ciani, Vince Vittori, Josh Felter. Behind the plate, Sean Flynn, number 42, and on the mound is number 19, Danny Will. Will's a senior lefty from Ambler, heading to Dartmouth next year. He's pitched 35 2/3 innings. This will be his 10th game. He is 3-0 on the year. This will be his 7th start. Does have a save on the year. And he's been in the starting lineup basically since his freshman year. 5'10", 175. Will throw in the upper 80s. Lots of movement on his pitches as well. He's got the slider to the curveball. And that's an off-speed pitch in for a called strike. Count goes 1-1 to Smith. Another off-speed in for a called strike. Smith batting .371 this season. He's got an on-base percentage close to .500, which is your prototypical leadoff guy. That pitch just misses. Count goes even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. $19 hits on the year, a couple of doubles. Also does go long. He's got 2 home runs so far this year. Here comes your 2-2. That one sent to left field. Ciani over to his left, and picks up the first out here in the bottom of the first. So 1 up, 1 down. Up steps number 20, Lonnie White. Keep on wanting to say Lonnie Smith for all you baseball aficionados out there, but Lonnie White plays center, not shortstop for the Cardinals. Maybe one day, but he'll stay in the outfield is my guess. White, the Penn State product, wants to play 2 sports at Penn State, but it's well documented. He's very likely to hear his name in one of the top 2 or 3 rounds of the MLB draft when it rolls around in July, and then the senior has a decision to make. 6'3", 212. When he's on the football field, he plays wide receiver. And he had the walk-off hit on Thursday that gave Malvern Prep the mercy rule win in the semifinal game. That was his first hit. He had a sac fly for an RBI. He grounded out twice to the right side, and then he roped one to the wall in right center. Here's the 1-1. Pitch in on the hands, but called for a strike. He's in a hole, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Batting .393 on the season. He's got 5 home runs. .33 hits and 84 at bats this year. He's got 10 doubles, a triple. On base percentage, .527. It's a crazy number at any level. Check swing. The ball goes foul. As Lonnie looks up, that was ball 3, but instead the count stays at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Guess it's worth mentioning also slugging percentage at .714. So extra base hits is where this guy likes to go. The 2-2, fouls another one. Got Cam Conley on deck. Pitch just outside, good eye by number 20. The count goes full, 3 balls, 2 strikes. This is not a guy you want to put on. Definitely a guy you do not want to give a free pass to. The 3-2 in the dirt. So good at bat as White fouls off a couple of tough pitches and waits for a couple more balls, and he reaches a 1-out walk and the first base runner of the day for Malvern Prep. And I mentioned he's not a guy you want to give a free pass to. White has 25 stolen bases on the year. He's been caught just once. Fred Hilliard loves to run. That's what he does. His team, with more than 110 stolen bases on the year, 112 to be exact. They've been caught just 14 times. So they average about 4 steals a game, if you do the math, which is, again, crazy math. But this is an interesting matchup because you got the lefty, and Will's got a pretty nice move. We already saw Connor Street pick off a base runner in the top of the first, and now we're here in the bottom of the first, and Will's trying to do the same thing with a base runner at first. It's strength versus strength right now. Pitch to Conley. Fouls one away. Conley batting at a .407 clip this season. 33 hits and 81 at-bats. He's got 3 home runs on the year as well, so he's got a little bit of power.
Nice throw, 1-9.
He does a real nice job also of finding just a way on base. 11 walks so far this season. That's best for third on the team. He's got a 1-1 count. Good off-speed pitch. A couple of good moves there. With Will's move to the plate, you had White edging back to first on the delivery, which is what your left-handed pitcher wants, and then he fooled Conley on the off-speed pitch. So 2 good things happened there for Will all at once. Comes your 1-2 in the dirt. That's a pitch White probably could have went on. It got far enough away from Flynn, but I don't think he saw the ball as it scooted behind Conley, the righty, to the left of the catcher. So possibly missed opportunity there for White to get to second. And the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. Down to second. And a stolen base as the ball gets away from Tim Ford, the shortstop.
Focus on the batter, 1-9. Nice throw, buddy.
So now a runner in scoring position, still 1 out. Now to take another look. The ball got there at the same time that White did. But again, the ball getting away from the shortstop. Stolen base number 26 and a 2-2 count. It's the chess match out here as Will steps off, trying to figure out what White was going to do. Pitch skied and foul. While it's a little bit easier for the lefty to go to first base, it's a little bit more tricky to go to second base than what you would have for a righty, as his turn is a little bit longer to second base. We'll see if White wants to pick up stolen base number 27 on the year. 2-2 count, though. Possible hit and run option here as well. That one lifted to right field, down the line, and making a nice catch is Felter, but plenty of time for the runner to get to third. So Conley flies out to right. White moves up to third base, and this brings up number 11, Jimmy Kirk, the senior, with the first run of the game just 90 feet away. Kirk batting .470 this season. Second on the team in RBIs with 24, and he's got one right there. He's got number 25, 90 feet away. First pitch swinging and foul towards the bullpens, and a nice catch by the fan. Doesn't have a beer in his hand or a baby in his hand, but still a nice catch. No balls and 1 strike. 2 away here. Bottom 1, no score. But Prep threatening right now with a runner at third base after White walked, stole second, and moved to third on a sacrifice. Another ball out of play to the left. If Kirk gets on, Trey Tiffin, the sophomore, is on deck. The 0-2 reaches over to third. And the throw does go high. It sails on Doran over Tilley's head. And what should have been out number 3 turns into run number 1 for Prep. Lonnie White scores on the E5. And Kirk moves up to second base. Had his feet under him, but you saw the release. As soon as he let it go, you saw it fly a little bit. Tilly unable to make that catch as it went well over his head. Dorn would like to have that one back. So there was an error in the top of the first. It did not hurt Malvern Prep. But the error in the bottom of the first does hurt Penn Charter. So 2-base error, but a run does come across at the same time. So 1-0 in favor of the home team. And in steps number 23, Trey Tiffin, the only sophomore in the starting lineup today for Prep. Pitch high and tight for a ball. Tiffin batting .362 this season. 17 hits and 47 at-bats. 5 doubles, a couple of home runs as well. Off speed over for a called strike. That evens up, goes 1 ball, 2 strikes. We've got 1 run, 2 errors, but we're still looking for our first hit today. That one's foul. It's a lot of action in 1 inning for a game that still has not seen its first hit by either team. And while this is all happening, Will has been throwing a decent number of pitches here in the bottom of the first. The 1-2, that's at the knees for strike number 3. So a backwards K ends the bottom of the first, but a run does come across the board. 1 run, no hits, 1 left. We've played 1, Prep up 1-0. Welcome back to Malvern Prep. We head to the top of the second inning in a 1-0 game. No hits yet, but an error opened up the door for Prep in the bottom of the first for White to come around and score. Up right now, number 12, Scott Dorn. Dorn's the big guy, a sophomore, 6'4", 210 pounds. How many sophomores are 6'4", 210? Fastball just misses.
Ball there, strike last inning.
Doran batting .308 this season.
Okay, Tuck. How you feeling, baby? You don't like hot?
Two balls and one strike with Street on the mound for his second inning as one's fouled straight back. Count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Other way, 12.
That was almost a highlight reel as that ball came right back at one of our 2 cameras on the day. We almost had 1 camera on the day. You're 2-2. Misses just low. Count goes 3 balls, 2 strikes. Penn Charter got its leadoff guy on in the top of the first, trying to do the same thing here at the top of the second, and they do. Doran takes a walk down the first on a strong at bat, worked the full count, and then worked the walk. In steps number 19, Danny Will. The senior can not only pitch, but he can hit. Dartmouth product batting .370 this season. Good eye there as the pitch just misses. Head coach Justin Hanley for Charter will take third base as the coach. He's got Charlie McGeehan over at first base. Pitch high in the zone for a called strike on the fastball. Great atmosphere here at Malvern Prep, by the way. No bleachers, so everybody has to find their way. If you look down the first baseline, that's where most of the prep parents have stationed themselves, up on that little hill. Directly behind home plate, that's where a lot of the Penn Charter faithful have kind of set up. We're on the third baseline. To my left, got about 60 students hanging out. So the fans up and down both the first and third base line with a lot of fans behind home plate. So a real good atmosphere here on a Saturday, on Championship Saturday. That ball's fouled. It's going to be a dangerous day, it seems, along the third base line. That's a third or fourth ball hit right at fans. Two balls, 2 strikes to numbers. To number 19. We'll do it all over again. Still looking for our first hit today. Had plenty of action. Had a runner found his way into a pickle between first and second. We had an overthrow at first. That led to the game's only run for Malvern Prep. And a fastball high in the zone and strike number 3 as Will goes down.
Stick the pitching, 1-9. Put a K on the board. Yeah! Yeah!
First strikeout this afternoon for Street. This brings up number 22, Josh Felter. The senior's batting .263 on the season. 10 hits and 38 at bats. Got a couple of doubles to speak of. Big swing and a miss. Count goes even. 1 ball, 1 strike. That pitch just misses on the 1-1 count. We go 2 balls, 1 strike. This is a contrast in teams. In talking with both head coaches, you got Malvern Prep. They hit the ball real hard and they love to run. And then you get a team like Penn Charter. They win with defense and they win with pitching. Which is interesting because we already saw that error in the bottom of the first that led to a run. So it's a team that relies on not making too many mistakes. And I think Thursday's game, the win that Charter had over Episcopal Academy, is a great example in the 2-0 win. They just find a way to score and they don't give up many runs. But here we got a 3-1 count. And that one goes high. So second walk of the inning. Start off with Dorn and now Felter, and runners at first and second, still one out. In steps number 42, Sean Flynn. Our first meeting on the mound. And it looks like we have a pitching change very early on. Connor Street is taking a seat, and we're just here in the top of the second inning. So we'll take a break and we'll reset with a surprising move so early in the game. We're coming right back 1-0 in favor of Prep. Welcome back. An early pitching change with two guys on, both walks, and that yields number 25, Dom Shafalo, a right-hander senior, heading to Scranton next year. 23 innings pitched so far this year. He's 3-0 with a 2.13 ERA, and he's in early for Connor Street. So on championship day, Malvern Prep not messing around, as Hilliard is looking for the bench, looking for the pen. And on the first pitch to number 42, this is Sean Flynn, the sophomore, catching today. And he takes strike number 1. Dorn at second, Felter at first. Another off speed. So go from a lefty to a righty. We had two lefties starting today. Just one out with these two runners on.
Listen to your coach at third. He's got you. You're good. More.
Time at the plate right now. Street is responsible for both runners on. He walked both guys that are on base right now. Bouncer over to third, but just foul.
Nice try.
Still no balls and 2 strikes to Flynn. Follow getting his signs. The 0-2. That one misses. Fastball, just a little high, a little wide. Number 25 wanted to see if the batter might fish for one out of the zone, but Flynn did not. Here comes the 1-2. That one's ripped to left. And a great catch, a diving catch by the left fielder for Prep. That is Josh Smith, saving at least 1, if not 2 runs. And that is your defensive play so far today. A fabulous play by the left fielder, robbing Flynn of extra base hits. That was the hardest hit ball so far today. You saw Smith ranging to his right. And this brings up number 46. This is Tim Ford, the sophomore. That ball gets away on the first pitch, so a couple of runners move up. 2 outs, but Dorn stands at third now. Felter is at second. When you look back at a baseball game, you look at small plays or single plays that turn out to be just enormous. And we're going to look back at that catch by Smith, and I think that's going to be one of those we talk about when this game is over. Again, if that gets by him, 2 runs scored easily, and likely would have put Flynn at second or third if that ball gets all the way by Smith and goes to the wall. But as it stands, that was out number 2. Still looking for our first hit, but a couple of runners in scoring position. This one gets away. Another run comes in. The first of the day. Scott Dorn crosses home plate. Felter moves up to third, and we have ourselves a tie ball game, 1-1. So the walk does come back to bite the Friars. And now with a 2-1 count, still 2 away, the go-ahead run in Felter stands at third base. Next pitch in, goes fishing. This ball hit in the foul territory and up on the hill and out of play. So we'll do it all over again. Got a 2-2 count, 2 away, and a tie ball game. With an awkward-looking scoreboard, by the way. Got 1 run for each team, 1 error for each team, and the hits column is empty. If Ford gets on, we go back to the top of the order. Big swing and a miss, and he does not get on. That will do it for the visitors here in the top of the second, but a run does come across on no hits, 1 left. Move to the bottom of the second. We're all knotted up at 1 apiece. Welcome back. Here's so far the play of the day. It's early, but it's a good one. Josh Smith out in left field for Malvern Prep. It's a diving play. At the time, that saved a couple of runs. One run eventually did come across for Penn Charter, which tied the game at 1-1. But that is an incredible catch by the senior out in left field. As we move to the bottom of the second, 1 run, no hits, 1 error for for Penn Charter. 1 run, no hits, and 1 error actually for Prep as well. So both teams kind of mirroring each other so far today. As we'll see numbers 6, 7, and 8 here in the bottom of the second inning. We'll go Cochran, O'Shell, and Davis. How many schools can go back-to-back-to-back players, all D1 commits? Cochran going to Lehigh, O'Shell to Duke, and then Davis also to Lehigh in your numbers 6, 7, and 8 spots.
Hey, Danny, let's go.
Cochran batting .324 this season. He's got 23 hits and 71 plate appearances. 20 of the 23 hits are singles. 3 doubles on the year as well. A lot of noise coming from the third base side. It's the fan section here today at Malvern Prep. They're only about 6 feet from me. 0-1 check swing, but over for a called strike. And number 24 is in a hole. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Laces one to center field. It's a good piece of hitting by the Lehigh commit to center field on the 0-2. And a leadoff base runner for Prep. It's also hit number 1 so far today for either team, and this brings up the big guy, Fran O'Shell. O'Shell did it all on Thursday. Not only got the win, 5 innings pitched, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned run with 6 Ks, but he was also 1 for 1 with 2 walks. So he had 3 quality at-bats as well. The idea of walking a guy who's 6'7" twice. So he comes in the DH spot today, of course. O'Shell is known for his arm, but he's batting .409 this season. 27 hits in 66 at-bats.
Focus on the batter, 19.
Can also go deep. He's got 5 long balls, tied for the team lead with Lonnie White. The 1-0 in the dirt. The count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Cochran leaning at first. That's a good pitch over for a called strike. Cochran does have 6 steals on the year. It's been caught twice.
Here we go, White. Don't mess this pitch up. Stop shaking it.
Will gets his sign. The 2-1. High and outside.
Good eye, 2-7.
And O'Shell is ahead 3 balls and 1 strike. After leadoff single by Cochran, O'Shell now ahead in the count. Looking for a good pitch to hit. Hitters count at 3-1. Strike zone tightens. Did like that one, pops it up. In foul territory, right on the edge of foul territory. I think even if that was caught, it was out of play, by the way, by a couple of feet. That was about 15 feet closer to home plate. That would have been an interesting moment with some of the fans here. As Doran went over to try to get that ball. So the count's full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A little bit of new life for O'Shell. Just on the other side of that line. Doran unable to get it. And you see the netting there. You see all the fans along the third base side as well. So a lot of things going on over here. But we come back live. 3 balls and 2 strikes with the runner at first base to the 6-7 Duke commit. After O'Shell, we'll see Ryan Davis, another Lehigh commit, step in. Here's your 3-2. And that pitch misses. So once again, a base on balls for the big guy. Did it twice on Thursday. His first at bat today is a walk. Second walk of the day for Danny Will. Cochran moves down to second. O'Shell now at first. And with 2 runners on and nobody out, we go to the 8-hitter. Number 21, Ryan Davis, the lefty. Davis batting .302 this season. .19 hits and 63 at-bats. 5 doubles. Has a triple to his credit as well. Oh, and first pitch comes inside and hits number 21 on the shoulder, and that will load the bases. So a single to Cochran. O'Shell walks, and now Davis is at first base after being hit by a pitch. And both lefties struggling today to find that strike zone. We saw Connor Street taken out in the second inning after walking a couple. And now we see Will struggling as well. He's seen 3 batters this inning. He's walked 1, he's hit 1. This puts Cochran at third. O'Shell is at second. Davis now at first. And we'll see. Let's see who's going to. I'm looking to see who might be coming up to the plate. It looks like someone was different than what I think I saw on the scorecard. So I want to update you guys. Just make sure we got the right names in the right places. This is number 13. This is Tag Davis. The freshman steps in the bat in the 9 spot.
No accessories, no. Dude, is he going for the crusty look? No, he's not for 13. Yeah, Tag! He's so crusty! Tag! Oh, you crusty, baby!
So freshman in a big spot with the bases loaded. He takes a first pitch over for a called strike. Davis is batting .400 on the year. This is his 11th game. Fooled there, way ahead on the off-speed pitch. In his 15 at-bats, he has 6 hits, all singles. After Davis will go back to the top of the order. No balls and 2 strikes. And there's one to right field, but foul. Davis has been ahead of pretty much every pitch he's seen, and that was another example. That made good contact, but way ahead of it. Thus stay alive, no balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 0-2. Stays alive again as he fouls one off.
Stay alive, Tank. Stay alive. Good marbles, team.
Got a good fight. Senior freshman. Danny Wills trying to get a clean out here off of number 13. A strikeout here would look really good for Penn Charter at this point. Any kind of contact. And we got some issues. The corners are in. First and third are in. Middle of the infield's playing back, looking for something, maybe a double play type ball. They can roll one. And that pitch misses high. That's the first ball of the at-bat. 1-2. So Doran's on the grass at third. Tilley's on the grass at first. They're not holding on Davis. But again, you have Ford and Doran up the middle, playing where you would expect them if they were looking to possibly turn 2. Here's the 1-2. Reaches one and pokes it into center field. 1 run comes in to score. Everybody moves up 1 base at a time. But an RBI single for the freshman. And a 2-1 lead for Malvern Prep here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. What a good at bat by the freshman. Saw a bunch of pitches that he struggled with. And then still down the count at 1-2, just reached out and poked one to center field. And as a result, he picks up a hit. Freshman gets himself an RBI. Cochran comes across the score. And it's a 2-1 game. Bases are loaded, still nobody out. And now we're moving back to the top of the order where all the trouble could begin. With number 3, Josh Smith is up. Flew out to left in his first at bat. Waits on one, but pops it up to the left side. Ford is there. Wind took it out a little bit. That got a little bit eventful at the very last second. But that's an important out for Penn Charter. So pop up to the shortstop spot. Everybody stays put. And this brings up the big bat, the big guy, Lonnie White.
Let's go, Lon!
He walked in his first at bat and was stranded. Excuse me, I was about to say stranded at third, but he was not actually. He scored that lone run in the first inning. First pitch just misses. So, but a couple of singles in this inning, both to center field. We've had a walk, a hit by pitch. 1 run's come across, bases are still loaded. With Lonnie White, was 5 home runs on the year. And on senior day, he can change this game with 1 swing. One right at the knees.
That's at the knees!
That evens up the count, 1 ball, 1 strike. After White, we'll see Cam Conley. There's nowhere to hide for Danny Will right now. He's got a PSU, Penn State commit up now. He's got a Pepperdine commit on deck. Next pitch gets away on the pass ball. We would play at the plate. And safe is the big guy, number 27, Fran O'Shell, on his horse. Another run comes across, makes it 3-1. Everybody else moves up. Davis to third. And also Davis to second. We got a couple of Davises on the plate. That's the ball that gets away from Flynn. Good slide by the 6'7" senior. So Ryan Davis And Tag Davis at second and third now. Infield is now all the way in. Everybody's in as the force play has been taken off. First base is now empty. And White is up there fighting with 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-2 count. 2 runs across here in the bottom of the second. The 2-2 sent to left center field. This one's going to fall in the gap all the way to the fence. 2 runners come across. A stand-up 2 RBI double for the senior. And that makes it a 5-1 ball game in favor of Prep. A great at-bat by the senior. Had a pitch right over the plate, right where he wanted it. And basically just smoked it to left center field, right between Ciani and Fattori. You have Davis coming in, both Davises, Ryan and Teg coming in to score. 4 runs on the board here in the bottom of the second. And this brings up Cam Conley. Number 2 flew out to center, but he takes the first pitch to right field, but right at Felter. Hit the ball really hard. Nice play by the right fielder, and that is out number 2. So after a couple of long at-bats, first pitch swing is Conley.
Let's go, Kurt.
That's the second time he's flown out to right field. So still with a runner in scoring position, but now 2 away. This is number 11, Jimmy Kirk. Kirk reached on an error, an E5. That ended up scoring the first run of the game in the bottom of the first. That error scored White. Ball gets away, but not enough from Flynn. It hit the umpire's foot. White stays at second base. With 2 outs, anything into the outfield, you got to assume White's going to score. You're talking about a guy that's got 6'5" speed in the 60s, so he can get through the bases. D1 wide receiver.
Come on, Jim. Not shaming him or anything.
Can't tell if White is just trying to keep Will on his toes or if he's actually looking at third base.
Tits are more fun. They're more taboo.
You don't want to be that third out ever at third base. That ball to left field, just fair by a foot or 2. And a 2-out RBI single as White comes across to score from second base. He's running on contact, give Jimmy Kirk a hit, an RBI, and a 6-1 lead in favor of the home team. Just a real nice at bat, just catching the line a little bit to the right of line by a foot or 2. White scores for the second time already today. This brings up Trey Tiffin. This is the 9th batter here in the second inning for Malvern Prep. Fastball for a called strike. Tiffin struck out looking to end the first inning, the only strikeout so far today for Will. 5 across here in the second inning, 6 overall for the Friars. Reaches for that one. Couple of hits this inning. You've seen batters just kind of reach and poke it where they're not. And so far it's just been that kind of day for the home team. Again, we got a 1 versus 2 matchup here. Both teams ended the regular season tied for first at 8-2. Both won their semifinal game. The only reason Prep, by the way, is the number 1 seed, there was really no tiebreaker. The coaches voted on it. And Prep got the 1 seed, which allowed them to host this game. And that was really the only big advantage that they found with that vote. Instead of this game being played at Penn Charter is being played at Malvern Prep.
Or 10. They got 10 more.
No balls and 2 strikes to Tiffin.
That's not where the mound is.
What are you scared, Danny? Come on, pitch it. Do it again.
We'll do it all over again on the 0-2. Another ball right at the third baseman, but off the mitt of number 12, Scott Dorn. And that's why they call it the hot corner. That puts runners at first and second.
You're killing me, Scott.
Better than that, Scotty.
Scott, don't listen to them.
On the replay, that's a hard hit ball right at the third baseman.
You're a king, Scott. Head up.
Chin up, Scotty.
Haven't seen anything official on that. I think they're going to call that a hit as that ball was smoked at the third baseman. Either way, it's runners at first and second right now. You got Kirk at second, you got Tiffin at first, and this is batter number 10 in this inning. Cochran's back up. He started everything off with a single and scored a run. Singled sharply up the middle. Already got 5 runs across here in the bottom of the second. And Will is not out of danger just yet. He's got the 1-0. A bouncer to the right side. Pretty easy play, 4-3, Dorn to Tilley, but a ton of damage done here in the bottom of the second inning. 5 runs come across, a couple are left. We've played 2. It's now 6-1 in favor of Malvern Prep. Welcome back to Malvern Prep Championship Day in the Interac on the Sports Fan Base Network. Matt Fine along with you. We got number 2. Penn Charter's got some work to do against Malvern Prep. In the top of the third, it's already a 6-1 lead for the home team for the top seed. Good news for the visitors as they are back to the top of the order. This is Jake Ciani. Reached on an error to lead off the game. Then he was picked off between first and second. Sends one deep to right field. Going back right around the track area is Davis. And a long first out here in the third inning for Ciani. This brings up Vincent Fattori. The Duke product came in today batting .304. He flew out to left field. First pitch missing for a ball. Pitch just misses low, and the count goes 2 balls and no strikes. By the way, I should mention our third pitcher today. Well, this is number 34 in right now. And a walk to number 9. So Fattori goes down to first base. And a 1-out base runner.
I need a refill. I don't know what to do.
Here's my problem. I don't have a 34 on their roster, so I'm trying to figure out, guys, just who this is that's in right now.
Do you have like a cooler?
So I'm asking the student section, because I got a student section right behind me, and they're telling me this is Cam Marco. But again, I don't have that number on my roster at all. And either way, he gave up a single there, and runners now at first and second. So Doran stands at first. Fattori now at second base. This brings up the 4-hitter. This is number 5. This is Dean Bergman, the St. Joe's commit. The 1-0. Did he go? He did not. 2 balls and no strikes.
That's horrible, Blue. Come on, Blue.
So Connor Street started the game. Then we went to Dom Shafalo. And now we have Cam Marco. 3 pitchers for Coach Hilliard, and we're only in the 3rd inning.
What are you looking at?
Count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2 to number 5 and Dean Bergman. Fouls one away to stay alive. Couple of runners on, 1 away. Important moment in the game right now for the visitors and Penn Charters. They try to poke their way back. This one right above my head. And the student section that acts all tough, they scatter like ants. Come on, guys. Someone catch a ball. They all talk big until a ball comes right at them. Then it's like they haven't seen a baseball come their way in forever. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bergman. And that pitch just missed. The count goes full. Big pitch here. Difference between a possible strikeout and a walk. A walk would load the bases with 1 out.
Give it up.
Little meeting at the mound right now, try to figure out what to do here on the 3-2 count. Again, it's a 6-1 game. Penn Charge just trying to chip away here. Trying to get themselves back in this championship game. The 3-2 foul back. Good fight here from Bergman. Big day for the St. Joe's commit and also St. Joseph's University. In the Atlantic 10, St. Joe's takes on LaSalle today at Smithson Field in Lower Merion. The winner of that game gets an automatic spot into the Atlantic 10 playoffs. The loser goes home on the final day of the college season as that ball is lifted to left field, but right at Josh Smith for out number 2. So that's a win for Marco on the mound, and for Prep, 2 away now, still runners at first and second.
Give me some heat, 3-4. Here we go, 2-1. 8-9, you ain't getting here. Yeah, D. You ain't coming.
This brings up number 12, Scott Dorn, batting in the 5 spot.
9, you're not sniffing third.
He walked and scored the only run so far today
12.
for the Quakers.
Stands, 12. Stands. I remember playing baseball. I know that's not right. 12, you look like a squid. That's a strike.
No pitch there. Time was called.
What are you scared?
We'll do it all over again.
You're lying.
Vittori at second. We got Doran at first. They're sandwiched between a couple of flyouts, one to right field and one to left field. That ball hit to left field and out number 3. So Prep gets out of a little bit of a jam after giving up 1 hit, 1 walk, leaving 2. We move to the bottom of the third, still 6-1 in favor of the Friars. Welcome back to Malvern Prep. It's a 6-1 ball game. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors for Penn Charter. 6 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the Friars as we move to the bottom of the 3rd inning. And the big guy is up. Number 27, Fran O'Shell, steps in. O'Shell walked and scored in that crazy 2nd inning that saw 5 runs come across.
Let's go, Nagy!
We'll see numbers 7, 8, and 9 for Coach Hilliard's team. Fastball over for a called strike. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. That's what you hear when you see someone go down to the bullpen for Malvern Prep. It's like a bullpen bell with the fans here. In case you join us a little bit late, I got somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 students right over my left shoulder. All the parents hiding basically down the first base side and right behind home plate. But there are fans wall to wall here at Malvern. And that is out number 1 on a good pitch by Will. Tailing out of the zone. O'Shell goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 2 today for Danny Will. And this brings up number 21 in Ryan Davis. The junior was hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd inning. Still looking for his first official at bat. First pitch swing right back to Will. Stuck out his mitt and did a great job of composing himself. So 2 quick outs. We'll move to the 9 spot. In comes number 22. This is Billy Breslin. This is Breslin's first at bat. In the 9th spot to start off, it was Teg Davis who came up with a real important single up the middle and also scored. So picked up an RBI and a run scored, but now Breslin's in. Breslin batting .220 on the season. It's got 9 hits and 41 at-bats. Breslin heading to your Sinus next year. Out of the Centennial League, your Sinus finishing the regular season 7 and 8. No playoffs in the Centennial this year as that ball's fouled away. The top seed, which was Johns Hopkins, moves into the Division III playoffs, the NCAA playoffs. So many changes here because of COVID. If Breslin gets on, we'll go back to the top of the order where Josh Smith stands by. The 1-2, over for a called strike. Looking, Breslin goes down, and a 1-2-3 inning for Penn Charter. As we have played 3, move to the top of the 4th, 6-1. Welcome back to Malvern Prep Championship Day in the Interact. Matt Fine along with you on the Sports Fan Base Network, and a 6-1 Malvern Prep lead over Penn Charter as we are now in the top of the fourth. One thing worth mentioning in terms of the defensive stance for Coach Hilliard's squad, his corner outfielders have switched places. So left fielder number 3, Josh Smith, is now in right field. And number 21, Ryan Davis, moves from right field to left field. Number 34, Cam Marco, is on the hill. He's got number 7, 8, and 9. This is Danny Will, the pitcher trying to help himself. Backhanded nicely by number 24, Cochran, over to Kirk for out number 1, 4-3 on the putout. And one away here in the top of the fourth. This brings up number 22, Josh Felter. He walked in his first at bat, stranded at third base back in the second inning. First pitch over for a called strike. So I was mentioning all the things that COVID has changed this year on just about every level. College, high school, what have you. That ball's fouled away over our heads. One of the changes came with the Interact. There's no state championship tournament this year. The season will end with the playoffs here, so no matter what happens in this game, this is the last high school baseball game in the Interact this season. So a champion will be crowned today, but for all the seniors, their careers will be over sometime in the next hour or so. And no matter which team you're on, a lot to be proud of. Just happy getting through the season, being able to, wouldn't call it a normal season, but after what happened last year with all these players not having a season, it's real nice they were able to play a full season that include the playoffs. As Felter goes down looking for out number 2. It's a third strikeout of the day overall for Penn Charter. And number 42 steps in, Sean Flynn. The sophomore absolutely robbed back in the second inning on a diving play by Josh Smith in left field. And that came with a couple of runners on. One run eventually did score in that inning, but that play, a highlight reel play regardless. And at the time kept runners at first and second. So Flynn, hitting in the 8th spot, came into today batting .250 on the year. That pitch misses for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch misses just at the knees. The hitters count 3 balls and 1 strike to the 8-hitter. Expecting to see Tim Ford in the 9th spot on deck. That one just foul. Full count. Pitch just misses inside, and a 2-out base run on a free pass as Flynn goes down to first base. And this does, in fact, bring up the 9-hitter.
Go 3-4. Check to the bullpen, coach.
And we have a pinch runner in. Aiden Meta, the junior, stands at first base. In for Flynn, who's catching. So we'll see Flynn back behind the plate when they move to the defensive side of the inning. But for right now, you have that pinch runner, courtesy runner for your catcher. as Ford falls behind, no balls and 2 strikes. Ford struck out in his first at bat. If Ford gets on, we go back to the top of the order. That pitch high and tight. After an 0-2 count, we now move to 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 bounced to the left side and across for out number 3 as Tiffin with a strong throw to Kirk. And that will do it for the visitors here in the top of the 4th. No runs, no hits, 1 left. Move to the bottom of the 4th, still 6-1 in favor of the Friars. Welcome back to Malvern Prep on Championship Saturday afternoon on the Sports Fan Base Network. We have all sorts of championship games on the Sports Fan Base Network today. And the one we're paying attention to here right now is the championship baseball game in the Interact Conference between the 1 and the 2 seeds. I'm Matt Fine along with you as we are now in the bottom of the 4th inning. A 6-1 lead for Malvern Prep over Penn Charter. 6 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for the home team compared to 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors for the visitors. And we're at the top of the order here in the 4th. We'll see Smith, White, and Conley. Smith still looking for his first hit this afternoon. Lays down a bunt. A surprise bunt just goes foul. And that was a good look right there as he caught Penn Charter maybe napping a little bit, but the ball went foul by a couple of feet, so Smith comes all the way back, flew out the left and popped up to the shortstop in the 1st and 2nd innings. Moves the count to no balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Bouncer right between the 3rd baseman and the shortstop into left field. Scooped up by Ciani. And a base runner here in the bottom of the 4th. So Smith now 1 for 3 today. This brings up Lonnie White. As you would imagine, the seniors have himself quite a day on Championship Saturday. Walked and scored in the 1st inning. Picked up a stolen base. Doubled and scored in the 2nd inning. He's got a couple of RBIs. Got those 2 runs scored And now he's looking for his third quality at bat here in the fourth inning. Still have Danny Will on the mound for Penn Charter. Talk about oddities in baseball. Malvern Prep has given up 1 run on 1 hit, and we've seen 3 pitchers for Prep. Penn Charter has given up 6 runs on 5 hits, and the starter's still in. A bouncer right back to the pitcher, looking for the lead runner, gets it, but nothing at first base. So the lead runner is cut down in Smith, and White reaches on a fielder's choice. So with 1 away and White at first, this brings up Cam Conley. Number 2 also looking for his first hit of the afternoon. 0 for 2 is flown out to right field twice. First pitch swing over to shortstop. 6-4, 3, and out. A quick inning here in the bottom of the 4th. No runs on the 1 hit, but nobody left. We have played 4. Malvern Prep still leading 6-1. This is how we ended the bottom half of the 4th on the 6-4-3 double play. Ford to Dorn over to Tilley, and a real close play at first base. Well, Hilliard would have called him safe. The umpire called him out. And a rare 1-2-3 up and 3 down for Penn Charter here as we are now in the top half of the 5th inning. In a 6-1 game. 1 run, 1 hit, 2 errors for Penn Charter. We got the 6 runs on 5 hits and 1 error from Malvern Prep for the Friars. And a new pitcher on the mound, pitcher number 4 this afternoon for Coach Hilliard. And he wants to bring the senior in to get some time on what is the final day of the season. This is Fran O'Shell coming in. The Duke product, or the Duke commit really, it's 6'7". He's the one who picked up the win on Thursday in the semifinal game. So he's going to get some relief time in here. My guess is we're not going to see him for too long since he pitched just 48 hours ago. Didn't have a ton of pitches on Thursday. But he did go through about 5 innings worth of work. Not about 5 innings. He did pitch 5 innings. And O'Shell is facing the top of the order. He's got Ciani up right now. Jake officially 0 for 2, did reach on an error in the first. Flew out to deep right center field in the second at bat in the 3rd inning. He's no balls and 2 strikes. That pitch gets away. Of course, anyone who knows Malvern Prep baseball, they know the Ciani family very well. Jake is the youngest of 3 boys in the family. His 2 older brothers both playing pro ball, one in the Reds organization, the other in the Pirates organization. And Jake, forming his own path, he'll be heading to Johns Hopkins next year, one of the top colleges in the country, not only academically, but also on the diamond down in Baltimore. Just an unbelievable facility, unbelievable education. And that's where Jake will be heading next season. Johns Hopkins won the Centennial Conference, heading into the Division III NCAA tournament. I saw Jake's mom earlier today. I know his dad couldn't be here today. He's watching the game on the live stream. It's not like this family doesn't see enough games on the live stream. It's probably all they do all week long with 3 boys, all who play high-level baseball. But just a great baseball family, a great family altogether. So excited for Jake as he heads off to college next year. Looking for a hit on the final day of the season. Good fight here by Ciani as he fouls another one off O'Shell. On the season, by the way, for O'Shell, 47 2/3 innings pitched. He is 8-1. Does have a save. This one's fisted into foul territory to his left, and just on the edge of fair and foul territory, number 21, Ryan Davis picks up the out, and that is out number 1. So Ciani 0 for 3, and we move to number 9, Vincent Fattori. 0 for 1, did walk in the 3rd inning, flew out to left in the 1st inning. Getting back to O'Shell, I was talking about his 47 2/3 innings. This is his 12th appearance of the year. He's 8-1 on the year when he starts. Again, he's got that one save, as I mentioned. Giving up just 8 earned run in those 47-plus innings. 67 strikeouts. And the real big number, in addition to the 67 strikeouts, just 7 walks. Which means you got to earn it against the guy who's bringing it 90-plus. He's heading to Duke. Duke finishing its season this weekend, the regular season versus Clemson. The 2-2. That one just misses. So we got Duke against Duke, by the way, because that's where Fattori is going as well. Now Vinny's just a junior. He has another year before he gets there. But these guys will be teammates in a little bit. Bounces one past the 3rd baseman and into left field. So the Duke hitter gets the best of the Duke pitcher. And an extra base hit. And 1 runner aboard in scoring position with 1 away as Dorn comes to the plate. Penn Chargers trying to maybe chip away here if they can. They have a long way to go to get back into this one. You know Fattori is going to say to O'Shell in a couple of years when they're hanging out, hey, remember that double I hit off you in the championship game? Then O'Shell is going to say, yeah, well, remember if the score stays the way it is, remember we won that game? So that'll be fun in the clubhouse when those two guys meet as teammates as opposed to as rivals, which you see a lot at this level. You'll see high school teammates or high school rivals. It all changes when they get to college, depending on where they all go. 1 ball, no strikes to Doran. And that will be a double play as Conley picks it off and shuffles it right over to his second baseman in Cochran. So much for the double. It's wiped away. 3 up, 3 down in the 5th. We move to the bottom of the 5th, still 6-1. balls have bounced and really lined out every which way in favor of Malvern Prep here, and that was an example to end the top of the fifth as Conley goes to Cochran, doubling off the runner at second base. And with that, we move to the bottom of the fifth in a 6-1 ball game in favor of the Friars over the Quakers. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for the visitors in Penn Charter. 6 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for Malvern Prep. As we move to the bottom of the fifth, we'll see 4, 5, and 6 for Coach Hilliard's squad as we are getting towards the latter half, or latter third of this championship day. Malvern Prep looking for even more of a cushion. Of course, 5 runs is a lot with all the pitchers that Friars do have on the mound or on their roster. But they'll be looking for a little bit more offense here in the meat of the order. We'll start with number 11, Jimmy Kirk. Picked up an important single in the second inning. Also reached on an error in the first, so he's reached both times today. And Will is in once again. And on the first pitch to right field it goes. And a leadoff base runner as Kirk has reached for the 3rd time today. Officially 2 for 3 now. And we'll see a pinch runner as number 10 comes in. That's Owen Mall. Mall was a pinch runner on Thursday for O'Shell. Every time O'Shell, who started the game on the mound, every time he got on, which was 3 out of 3 times, you saw Mall come in. This is number 23, Trey Tiffin, the sophomore. 1 for 2, struck out and singled. Bottom 5 of the 7-inning championship game. On a warm late May day, a little bit of a breeze making things a little bit better for us here. But we're flirting with the high 80s, low 90s here today in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Over to first. They'll have the lefty on the mound. So Coach Hanley going with his starter into the latter parts of this game. Big swing and a miss. Or not swing and a miss, I should say. A swing and a foul back for Tiffin. That moves the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes. I don't have a pitch count on Will, not counting pitches today. But he's definitely thrown his fair share. So number 19, showing a lot of guts out there on a hot Saturday afternoon. Playing from behind. The pitch, just missing. This moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hilliard, Coach Hilliard, the head coach at third base, making all the calls, with Coach Nagy at first. Fooled on the off speed. And down goes number 23. That's 1 away now here in the bottom of the 5th, still a runner at first base. Third strikeout this afternoon for Will. And in steps number 24, Ryan Cochran. 1 for 2 today, singled and scored in the second. And later on in that big second inning, also grounded out to end the inning to the second baseman. So he batted twice today, both times in that second inning. You have Will trying to keep them all close to first base. Maul with 7 stolen bases on the year. You have Will stepping off on a 1-1 count. O'Shell is on deck. Started out as the DH, now he's in pitching as well. We have another timeout here. Umpire having a little bit of a discussion with the catcher and the batter for each team, respectively. Cochran steps back in. On the 1-1, the lefty deals. That ball just falls out of the zone. And that's when Will is at his best. When there's movement on those pitches. He won't overpower you with his fastball. This way he gets ahead. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back over to first. You got Maul dancing all over the place at first base. The 1-2. Hard hit ball right at the shortstop. 6-4-3 double play. You had Doran actually juggle the ball for half a second. That's how hard the ball was hit. Still got him plenty of time to pick up the double play. And that will do it for us here in the bottom of the 5th. With the 1 hit, no runs, and nobody left. We've played 5, 6-1 in favor of Malvern Prep. We are on the top of the 6th inning on Championship Saturday here at Malvern Prep in the Interac Final between Penn Charter, 9-2 if you include the semifinal win against Malvern Prep, also 9-2 with their semifinal win. We have Fran O'Shell, the 4th pitcher today for Coach Hilliard's squad. He's the guy who started the semifinal game and finished the semifinal game back on Thursday, and he's coming in a relief appearance here as he tries to shut down numbers 4, 5, and 6 in the order. And this is number 5, Dean Bergman. Bounces one foul. Bergman 0 for 2 today. Grounded out to the shortstop, flew out to left field. 6', 195. He called timeout, but O'Shell didn't even move. Has his sign. And that is strike number 3 looking. So Bergman goes down for out number 1 here in the 6th inning. It's the 4th strikeout today when you combine all 4 pitchers. In steps number 12, the big guy, Scott Doran. First pitch bounces over to third. Nice scoop by number 23 and across from Tiffin to Kirk. And 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning. Up steps number 19, Danny Will. Will doing double duty today, which is nothing unusual. Obviously, he's been on the mound all day long. At the plate, he's 0 for 2, struck out and grounded out. The 0-1. Lifts one to left center field, drifting over to his right is Lonnie White for out number 3. So a quick top of the 6th, 3 up, 3 down. We move to the bottom of the 6th, still 6-1 in favor of Malvern Prep. Welcome back to Malvern Prep. Matt Fine along with you. Got Sean Kelly directing our broadcast today. Will Rest Weber on one of the cameras as well, helping us out on the Sports Fan Base Network. Penn Charter taking on Malvern Prep. Prep, by the way, came into this game ranked 28th in the country, up from 32 last week in the Perfect Game National Poll. The top spot for a Pennsylvania team in that national poll. 25-4 on the season. And here in the bottom of the 6th inning, we'll see 7, 8, and 9. We'll start with Fran O'Shell. We'll go to Davis. And then Davis again, or Breslin, excuse me. I think, yeah, Breslin came in for Davis. So go Shell, Davis, and Breslin, 7, 8, 9. Now Shell dives out of the way of that one, but it's called a strike on the inside part of the plate. The count goes no balls and 2 strikes. O'Shell struck out in his last at bat. That was the first time he has sat down the entire postseason. He had reached all 3 times on Thursday and reached in his first at bat today. But since then, he has struck out twice, once in the 3rd and now here to start off the 6th and 1 away with number 19, Danny Will, still on the mound for the Quakers. And up steps number 21, Ryan Davis, who's 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and scored in the 2nd inning and grounded out in the 3rd inning. Unless Penn Charter mounts a huge comeback in the top of the 7th, this will be the final offensive frame for Malvern Prep here in 2021. They have a 5-run lead, 1 run, 2 hits, 2 errors for Penn Charter, 6 runs on 6 hits, 1 error for Malvern Prep. So just 8 hits between these 2 teams. That's unusual. But the numbers that count is the 6-1 lead in favor of the Friars. In the top of the 7th, we'll see 7, 8, and 9, 7, 8, and 9 coming to the plate for Penn Charter as that ball bounces into center field right over Ford. It took an awkward bounce right on the edge of the grass and the dirt and lipped off Ford's mitt and into left field. So 1 out base runner with Ryan Davis at first. You look at the replay, you see it just take that awkward hop right there.
Nice play, 46.
Ford unable to handle it. First pitch coming into Billy Breslin. The Ursinus commits. Struck out looking in his first at bat, his only at bat today back in the 3rd inning. That pitch misses and gets away from the catcher in Flynn. Down the second base goes Davis. On the pass ball. A runner now in scoring position with 1 away. We haven't had a run in this game since the bottom of the 2nd inning. Whole lot of action the first 2 innings. A lot of zeros ever since. The at-bat, by the way, by Ryan Davis ruled a hit. So Davis officially 1 for 2 today with that hit by pitch. Ball in the dirt. After Breslin, we'll go back to the top of the order where number 3, Josh Smith, stands by.
Guy's scratching his neck after every pitch.
Here comes the 2-2. And the dirt ball gets away. And Davis scampers up 90 more feet. So after the single to center field, a couple of pass balls. And with just 1 out, the 7th run now 90 feet away. Great RBI opportunity here for Breslin. Bounces one, and that'll get the job done, although we have a throw at the plate. And I take it back with the infield in. I thought that would get the job done, but it did not. A real nice throw home by number 46, Tim Ford. So it goes 6-2 on the putout with my premature call, and officially a fielder's choice. And here's a real nice play. Infield in, can't give up any more. Runs, obviously, well onto the grass is Ford. And absolutely no chance coming home as Davis was going on contact, so that's out number 2. So with this runner now at first pitch swing, we're back to the top of the order. That's Josh Smith. Senior Chris Ayers, by the way, has come in to pinch run for Breslin. Check swing right off the hands. That's going to hurt. Lucky it's not 35 degrees out here like it is sometimes at the beginning of the season, and that would rattle your entire body. It's number 3 in a hole. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2. And that gets by Ford and into left field. Siani brings it back into the infield. And 2 runners aboard now, 2 outs. Ayers moves to second base. Smith with the single. His second hit of the day. He's officially 2 for 4. And for what will likely be the final time in his high school career, Lonnie White steps in. And we have ourselves a pitching change. And a big hug for number 19, the senior lefty hugging his head coach, and a first-time pitching change as Danny Will gets a nice round of applause from the fans on both sides of this game. So as we get a new pitcher in, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll reset things. Right now, 6-1 in favor of Prep. Welcome back. Welcome back. A gutsy performance by Danny Will as he steps out and off the mound, and in his place, that is number 10, Colin Shum. Shum is pitched 5 innings so far this year. As that ball gets away, a couple of runners will move up. This is his 4th time on the mound this season, so limited action.
Off the bullpen! Nice hands, feet!
A sophomore, 6'3", 185. And he's got Lonnie White to deal with. Welcome to this game, as he's got the big hitter from Malvern Prep up there with a couple of runners in scoring position now after that ball gets past Flynn.
Yo, 10, throw a strike, please.
Ayers at third, Smith at second.
No, come on. Let him hit.
And in his final at bat, probably in his high school career, Lonnie Smith is sent down to first base intentionally. And that loads him up. So showing a heck of a lot of respect for the senior.
This ball's still gone.
And that brings up number 2, Cam Conley. The first pitch swing, and he grounds out to the right side. And that will do it for this part of the bottom of the 6th. So we move to the top of the 7th now. One more shot for the visitors. It's a 6-1 ball game in favor of Malvern Prep. One last shot for the visitors here, top 7, the championship game in the Interact. Matt Fine along with you on the Sports Fan Base Network, 6-1 in favor of Malvern Prep. And they have the guy they want on the hill, the steadiest arm on the staff, maybe one of the steadiest arms in the state of Pennsylvania, in Fran O'Shell. 3 outs away from a championship here in the Interact. And he'll see number 7, 8, and 9. Starts off with number 22. And it won't be a perfect inning, as on the first pitch, Josh Felter gets hit on the arm, and a base runner here to start off the 7th. They need base runners, obviously trailing by 5 runs. In steps number 42, Sean Flynn. Did he go? No balls, 1 strike. Flynn robbed in his first at-bat on a wonderful catch, the defensive play of the day so far by Josh Smith in left field, and he walked in the 4th. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 fouled away. You can't take away 1 inning in baseball. It just doesn't make much sense, but there hasn't been 1 run scored since the bottom of the 2nd, and that was the inning where Malvern Prep just did all sorts of damage, putting up 5 runs in the bottom of the 2nd, and both teams basically in cruise control in a lot of ways since then. Zeros in the 3rd, in the 4th, 5th, and the 6th, but that ball gets away and into center field. Kirk was trying to get the lead runner, which is the right play, but threw a little bit wide of second base. So Felter moves down the 2nd. Flynn reaches at first on the E3. Got ourselves a courtesy runner at first right now. That's Aiden Mehta. So 2 runners aboard, nobody out. And it's been that kind of day. Runners just find their way on board in all sorts of interesting ways. We had a hit by pitch in this inning now and an E3. And number 46, Tim Ford, steps in. Ford 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd inning, grounded out to 3rd in the 4th inning. Then we'll go back to the top of the order. First pitch bouncing. We'll do it all over again, this time right on the money. It didn't work for Kirk the first time. It worked perfectly the second time. 3-6-1 on the putout. So Meta cut down at second base, Ford out at first. It does move Felter to third base, but now 2 away. And Malvern Prep 1 out away from becoming the 2021 Interact champions. And we're at the top of the order with Jake Ciani. Jake looking for hit number 1. First pitch over for a called strike. That was the exact same play on back-to-back batters. That's real interesting. And Kirk making up for the error. He had one batter earlier. That was textbook in the infield from Malvern Prep. Two balls and 1 strike to Jake Ciani. If Ciani extends the season, Vittori steps in next. That pitch misses. 3 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch misses as well, so Shell's missing high right now. I know Coach Hilliard just wants to end this game with his ace on the mound. Still a long way to go for Penn Charter to really get back into this one, but there are runners now at first and third after the walk to Ciani. Vittori steps in. He's 1 for 2, flew out to left, singled to left, has a walk in there somewhere. Not somewhere, he has a walk in the 3rd inning. Stranded at second base in that inning. Runner goes, and that ball's hit to left field. A run comes in. On the hit and run, 2 runs will come across to score. And a 2-out, 2 RBI double for Vittori. Felter scores, Ciani scores. And that's our first runs dating back to the bottom of the 2nd inning. So with a 6-3 ball game, another runner in scoring position. Number 11, with James Doran steps in, and a ball. Remember, O'Shell pitched just 48 hours ago and went the distance. And while Hilliard wants to put this game in his seniors' hands, he has sent some action down to the bullpen as that ball goes high and a runner scampers down to third base. So Vittori now at third after the wild pitch. When you get tired, when your arm's tired, you tend to miss high. And right now, that's where O'Shell is missing. Still just 1 out away from a championship. And that's the picture-perfect ending, if we can get there, for Malvern Prep at least. Where the entire team kind of wraps themselves around the big guy on the mound. That's where you want to be. 2-0 count. And that pitch misses low, and it's a 3-0 count. Penn Charter's 1 ball away from sending the tying run to the plate. Runner at third. 3-0 count to Doran. Taking all the way. Count goes 3 balls, 1 strike. I would be surprised if he takes again here. The 3-1, another strike, Jordan didn't like it. He was a couple of feet down the first base. And now we have 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 pitch away from a walk, another pitch away from the end of the season. And that one misses outside. And that was real close. You had Breslin standing up, acting as if he was going to run over to the mound to end the season. You had some Malvern Prep guys kind of coming off the bench to celebrate. But that's ball 4. And this brings up number 5, Dean Bergman. And he is the tying run, if you can believe it, after all of this. Fattori at third, Dorans at first. Dean Bergman up as a tying run. Takes a pitch on the low end of the plate. Doran moves up to second base on that pitch, so the force play is off. But the really, when you're looking at a 3-run game right now, the only one that really matters is number 5 at the plate. The 0-2, hit over to the shortstop. 6-3 championship. The Friars are your 2021 Interact champions. It got a little bit hairy in the top of the 7th, but it's all said and done. Your final 6-3 as Fran O'Shell comes in and gets the outs that he needs. He is somewhere on the very bottom of that pile. Congratulations to the Friars. 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the runners-up today in William Penn. 6 runs on 8 hits, 2 errors for the champions, the Malvern Prep Friars. Big win today for this program. Want to congratulate everybody on both teams, but Cam Conley, Josh Smith, Mason Smith, Owen Mall, champions, Jimmy Kirk, Jaden Smith, Tate Davis, Pete Kern, Charlie O'Shell, champions, Matt Ciaris, Connor Street, Drew Kennedy, Lonnie White, Ryan Davis, Billy Breslin, champions, Trey Tiffin, Ryan Cochran, Dom Shafalo, Shane Devereaux, Fran O'Shell, Joey Azera, Will Shallow, still champions, Chris Ayers, Mike Gordon, Chase Reardon, Matt Donatucci, Aiden Catania, Cam Marco. That is the roster for the 2021 Interact champions. Fred Hilliard wins another title under his belt. His staff must be so proud of itself trying to get through this COVID 2021 season, and they do it in fine style, ending the season 10-2 in the Interact, 26-4 overall with a national ranking and a trophy to go with it. And here is a look at the final out. Makes sense that it goes to the shortstop and Conley over to Kirk to end the season. And there is the pile on the mound. A great sight and a great way to end the season for the Friars of Malvern. That will do it as Prep comes in and defends its home field for the championship. And a team picture. It's just a great Saturday afternoon on campus, as this is a game that those guys will remember for the rest of their lives. For us, that'll do it here on the Sports Fan Base Network. Thank you so much for joining us today. Will Weber. One of these days I'm going to get Will's name right on the first try. Will, I apologize. Will Ress Weber. How's that, Will? I got it? Good, gave me the thumbs up there. Sean Kelly pushing all the right buttons. I am Matt Fine. Have a safe afternoon, everyone. Hopefully see you back here real soon.